Have you ever wondered why schools look the way they do? Why the structure of our classrooms feels so rigid and uniform? Rows of desks, bells that dictate our lives, and a teacher standing at the front, the keeper of all knowledge. This setup is so ingrained in our minds that we rarely question it. It's a system we've come to accept as normal, but what if I told you it wasn't designed to foster intelligence, but obedience? What if the very foundation of our education system was built on control rather than creativity? This isn't about pointing fingers at hard-working teachers. They are the lifeblood of education, doing their best within a flawed system. This is about the system itself, a system with roots reaching back centuries, a system that was never truly reimagined for the modern world. Our current model of schooling has its origins in the Industrial Revolution, a time when factories needed workers. The education system was designed to produce a workforce that could meet the demands of an industrialized society. These workers didn't need to think critically or challenge the status quo. They needed to perform repetitive tasks efficiently and without question. They needed to follow orders, be punctual, and work repetitively. Sound familiar? This isn't a coincidence. The parallels between factory work and traditional schooling are striking. This is the legacy we've inherited, a system built on the factory model, prioritizing obedience over true intellectual growth. It's time to question and rethink this legacy for the future of education. The modern school system, as we know it, emerged in the 19th century, a period marked by significant social and economic transformations. Industrialization was sweeping across Europe and America, demanding a workforce ready to fuel the engine of mass production. Factories needed disciplined, punctual, and obedient workers to operate the complex machinery. Schools became the training grounds for this new industrial army. They were designed to instill the values and skills necessary for factory work. Children were taught to follow schedules, obey authority, and suppress individual expression in favor of uniformity. The emphasis was on rote learning and memorization. Think about the classic school bell. It dictates the rhythm of the day, herding students from one subject to another with military precision. This regimented structure mirrored the factory environment. There's little room for individual pacing or pursuing personal interests. The focus was on creating a standardized, efficient system. This system wasn't designed to nurture the unique talents of each child. Instead, it aimed to produce a homogeneous group of individuals. It was designed to produce compliant workers ready to slot into the machinery of industrial society. The legacy of this system still influences our schools today. So, what happens when we prioritize obedience above all else? We stifle creativity. We discourage independent thought. We create an environment where questioning the status quo is met with resistance, not curiosity. Think about a child who's constantly told what to do, how to think, and when to think it. What happens to their natural curiosity, their innate desire to explore and question the world around them? Too often, these sparks of creativity are extinguished by a system that values conformity over individuality. Children learn to color within the lines, to regurgitate information on standardized tests, and to suppress their own unique perspectives. Nurturing young minds beyond the walls of conformity. The good news is that it doesn't have to be this way. There are alternative approaches to education that prioritize curiosity, creativity, and critical thinking. Imagine classrooms transformed into workshops of exploration, where children are encouraged to follow their passions, learn at their own pace, and collaborate with their peers. Imagine teachers not as dispensers of information, but as facilitators, guiding students on their unique learning journeys. This isn't a pipe dream. These methods are already being implemented in schools around the world, proving that a different kind of education is possible. A brighter future, embracing curiosity and innovation. The challenges of the 21st century demand a different kind of thinker, a creative problem solver, a critical thinker, an innovator. The rote learning and blind obedience emphasized in traditional schooling simply won't cut it in this rapidly changing world. We need to equip our children with the skills to adapt, to think outside the box, to challenge assumptions, and to come up with creative solutions to complex problems. This requires a fundamental shift in our approach to education. We need to move away from the factory model and embrace a system that nurtures curiosity, celebrates individuality, and empowers students to become active learners and thinkers. Breaking the chains, a call for educational revolution. Our current educational system is in dire need of transformation. The traditional methods are no longer sufficient to prepare our children for the challenges of the future. The time has come to challenge the status quo. We must question the outdated practices that stifle innovation and creativity. We can no longer afford to sacrifice creativity and critical thinking on the altar of obedience. Our children deserve better. They deserve an education that nurtures their unique talents and encourages them to think independently. This isn't about tearing down the entire system. It's about making thoughtful changes that will benefit everyone. It's about reforming it, reimagining it, and making it work for the students it's meant to serve. We need to create a system that adapts to the needs of each student. Let's empower our teachers to become facilitators of learning, not just instructors. They should be mentors who guide students on their educational journeys. Let's encourage collaboration, not competition. When students work together, they learn the value of teamwork and collective problem solving. Let's create learning environments that inspire curiosity, not compliance. Classrooms should be places where students feel excited to learn and explore. The future belongs to those who can think critically, creatively, and independently. We must prepare our children to be the innovators and leaders of tomorrow. It's time to break the chains of outdated educational paradigms and unleash the true potential of every child. Together, we can build an educational system that truly serves the needs of the next generation.